Breaking, the U.S. just announced major sanctions against two of the largest Russian oil companies. Without further ado, I'll read a bit of this and then we'll get into the discussion how these sanctions are much tougher than I think even the last administration. I'll read the heading of it says, quote, today, the U.S. Department of Treasury Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC, is imposing further sanctions as a result of Russia's lack of serious commitment to a peace process to end the war in Ukraine. Today's actions increase pressure on Russian energy sector and degrade the Kremlin's ability to raise revenue for its war machine and support its weakened economy. The United States will continue to advocate for a peaceful resolution to the war, and a permanent peace depends entirely on Russia's willingness to negotiate in good faith. Treasury will continue to use its authorities in support of the peace process. And so before we get into the details of these sanctions, you've never seen, if I recall correctly, the Biden admin, when they use sanctions, there was never this type of heading where, oh, they negotiated in bad faith, so thus we impose sanctions. And so it definitely seems that the Trump admin is upset that Putin, in their eyes, is not negotiating good faith, negotiating in bad faith. And so I'll read not really the quotes of it too much, but actually the details of the sanctions. And it says, quote, today's actions targets Russia's two largest oil companies. I'm not going to say it too correctly. I'm not Russian. I think it's called Rosneft and Lukoil, which are now designated Rosneft, which is a vertically integrated energy company specializing in exploration, extraction, production, refining, transport, and sale of petroleum, natural gas, and petroleum products. And Lukoil engages in exploration, production, refining, marketing, and distribution of oil and gas in Russia and internationally. And so these are very tough sanctions. If I recall correctly, as this notes, these are the two largest, or one of the largest, top five biggest of Russia's two largest oil companies. And it goes further on the penalties of those who engage with these oil companies and do business in the United States of America is right here. The list goes on and on. I can't read the whole thing. And these are the implications. These are the criminal referrals which if a person engages with these Russian oil companies, they will be fined, put in jail, et cetera, et cetera. These are very tough sanctions. The UK last week actually put on similar sanctions against these two large oil companies. And so comment below, are these sanctions going to do anything? To me, I haven't fully read it yet, and I'm not a sanctions expert, but from what I've read, and at least from the one sanctions in January, these are the toughest sanctions I've ever read in a very long time. I think more tougher than all the Biden admin sanctions. So I don't know. Is this a good pivot? In my personal perspective, it does seem that Putin is not negotiating in good faith. It's clear that he wants Ukraine. People who are pro-Russia, especially, their arguments are really bizarre sometimes. Their arguments, well, they will say the West, America, and Europe are racist. That the leader of the EU, I can't really recall her name right now, but the lady of the EU is somehow racist, and America's racist, and we're evil, racist, colonialists or something, which is really bizarre. I don't think the leader of the EU is a blood dying racist. I just don't think that's true at all. I'm pretty sure she's a leftist liberal. I don't think she's a racist at all. So a lot of the arguments in this kind of more pro-Russian side simply just don't make any sense. But again, maybe I'm just watching the wrong people. Maybe I'm watching too much of the extreme people. Maybe Russia does have a point. If Russia does, comment below. That's the end of this video. You can always like, subscribe, do the whole thing if you want. And I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace.